From a building surveyor's perspective, we're in the office accommodation and we can see that the tenant has removed the modular cellular offices, created and returned it back to the open plan offices. What that does leave is a series of floor boxes that the landlord is probably going to claim for to be replaced, renewed. But equally, there's maybe a point that there's a benefit of all the PowerPoints in the
I think from a valuation point of view, obviously we had the partitioned offices, which any hypothetical tenant coming in here would not require. So by removing the partitions, they've created the open plan layout, which many occupiers require. But like you say, Gary, they've left the floor boxes, which are not uniform, but from a landlord's point of view, I'm guessing they're going to come in here and serve a schedule where those floor boxes need to come back into a uniform positioning on them.
Yeah. Well, or they might even say removed if the tenant's put them in.
Yeah.
But from a letting perspective, from our department, in terms of reletting the space, they are a positive. You know, more tenants are likely to want floor boxes than not. If they were all grouped together, if they'd had maybe like a meeting room up there and you've got 40 floor boxes up there and none anywhere else, then fair enough, redistribute them or remove them.
Sure.
But these are pretty well spaced.
Yep.
So certainly we would be saying, look, it's a breach from your perspective as a building surveyor. Technically it's a breach.
Yeah.
In terms of impacting lettability or value, no negative impact.
But then we move on to the air conditioning, which is an older system, split system, which may not be compliant or not energy efficient. So certainly the landlord will probably be looking for that as a replacement system.
Yeah, and our point on that would be, because it is a split system as you described it, so you've got separate aircon and then separate radiators, which are probably for gas boiler, wet central heating system. Outmoded, out of date, not energy efficient, not how you let offices these days. So the wet system, irrespective of what's claimed to repair stuff, the wet system will likely be ripped out altogether and a new VRF electric heating and cooling system put in. Landlords upgrade, landlords improvements. It's because, of course, there's a different perspective that we approach it from. The building surveyor, dilapidations protocol, your interest is in what the actual landlord's actual intentions are, and you inquire into those, but the actual landlord's actual intentions might not be settled yet. They might not be that honestly relayed, because they'll usually say they're just doing the works as claimed. Whereas from a valuer's perspective, the law directs us to look at what the hypothetical purchaser of the property would do. So not what the actual landlord would do. It helpfully detaches us from the actual landlord to focus on this objective perspective. So what we say, informed by our transacting experience in the open market, is that's fine, not disagreeing with the building surveyor that these are breaches, but we're saying they don't affect lettability and value, so they're subject to that Section 18 diminution in value cap.
Absolutely.
A fairly standard element of claim in schedules of dilapidations in offices is to redecorate and to recarpet. So they've redecorated in here, you see. We understand they're about to put a new carpet down.
So, and then they've got the point where the landlord is likely to change the heating system. They've got a wet system in here.
So the landlord's not admitting, is the landlord admitting that or not?
No. So the landlord hasn't admitted that they're going to do these upgrade works, but from our valuation point of view,
we know that's the modern expectation.
So in here, like you say, Paul, the tenant prior to their lease expiring has decorated and will replace the floor coverings, but as we know, they're going to then be damaged, which we refer to as supersession, going to be inevitably damaged by the landlord's improvement works and upgrade works. So
taking the
radiators will come off, which will damage the decoration. And then the ceilings will come down when you've got the people walking through doing those works and undertaking the works. The ceiling is going to damage and impact the carpets that the tenant has installed prior to vacation. So it's waste of money and waste of time. But we do see it happen on many lease expiries.
Because of not using Section 18 of diminution in value.
It's getting that advice before they leave as well, isn't it? It's getting that advice on what works will impact value. Speaking to both a building surveyor like Gary and as a valuers to identify the main, what we term value effective work. So what works are going to likely impact value and also not be superseded by the landlord improvement works for the market.